All right, Shalom. This is your brother Nahalia from the GMS Orlando camp. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah. And a sincere salutation to all Yuakim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word, in all truth and in sincerity. Yahweh is the name of the one they ignorantly call God. Yahweh Shai is the name of the one they ignorantly call Jesus. Bahashem is in the name. Rokar is spirit. Kodash is holy. Akyam is brothers. Akwath is sisters. Shalom means peace. And Yasher Allah is Israel in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. This is Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7. And it reads, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding." All right, I want to go into a lesson through the Spirit on studying or learning to apply. What I mean by that is that this isn't just an information grab. As you learn this truth, as you learn these scriptures, it's meant for you to learn and apply it. And the reason that I bring this out is because, again, we all go through the natural evolution through the Spirit of coming into this and then, Lord willing, maturing in this. And I want to go into this real quick. All right. So this is Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. And it reads, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope." All right. So the purpose of us learning what we learn through the Spirit is to have hope, but it's also to guide us through the times that we're living in. It's not just meant for us to have information. And the reason I bring this out too is because we're in another time period again, where not applying the scriptures is going to have grave consequences. We learn these scriptures, but it's not to look deep. It's not to be some exalted master teacher. All right. Ultimately, this was left for us to guide us through the times that we're living in. And that's why we must, it's a necessity. It's necessary that you learn to apply. This is something that should change your walk and change your conduct. Not something that you just have that makes you look a certain type of way. And that has to be understood, especially in the times we're coming into. And it reminds me of, for brothers who may be new, you had for example, the head of the Atlanta camp, the ex-head of the Atlanta camp, who was Yaradan, was very renowned for his ability to recall scriptures. He was very renowned when you saw him speak. It was very eloquent. He was able to bring out certain precepts and certain scriptures. All right. But behind the scenes, he wasn't being a brother. He was being wicked. And that's a product of not applying all that knowledge, but it was not being applied in his own walk. All right. And that's why it's extremely important through the Spirit, all right, to continue to apply what we learn. All right. Because it's not just for teaching. All right. It's also for application, because there's going to come a time where, the Lord's going to shut the internet down. The videos, are going to be shut down. And then it's going to be up to you through the Spirit to apply what you've learned. As the scripture said, we go from faith to faith. And that means that this ministry is going to transition. And if it was only an information grab for you, you're not going to be able to adjust when things start to happen. All right, real quick. This is Ecclesiasticus. Chapter 37 and verse 19. And it reads, "There is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself." And again, that goes back to actually applying the scriptures. The things that are coming out about guys that have fell out, I use the ex-head of Atlanta as an example of guys who are, These guys have the ability to teach very well, yet they don't apply the scriptures in their own walk in a way that changes their conduct. And that's extremely important. All the things that we learn through the Spirit is to edify or build up our faith in this. That's why Romans, the 15th chapter, the 4th verse says, these things were written aforetime. For what purpose? That we might have hope, that we'll look at our records and have confidence that the Lord is going to save, and that, Lord willing, we're a part of that number. We're going to be saved. It's supposed to build up your confidence in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All the information that we learn, all the information that we come across is meant to establish that in our hearts. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. And a part of that is supposed to be a change in character and conduct. Knowing how to move according to the wisdom that's given in the scriptures. Not just knowing where the chapter and the verse is, but actually being a example of the scriptures. And we all, when we first came in, we were all gathering information, because you have this mentality that you're late, that you should have woke up years ago. So now you have to make up for lost time by just gathering information and gathering and just knowing everything. But when you really sup with this truth, you understand that it's not as much how deep you are as it is how much you apply what you know. That goes a longer way. All right. Real quick. This is, bear with me. I got to get this one. Yep. This is the Wadi B'Shem Yahushua. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 19 and verse 24. He that hath small understanding and feareth Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is better than one that hath much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High. Because you have incidences, you have situations where there's a very eloquent, very teachable person or a very good teacher, and then behind closed doors, they're defrauding brothers. They're, just doing a whole bunch of madness, and it's because they're not actually applying the scriptures in their own walk. Being a brother, all those things go a long way. And that's why it says, he that hath small understanding and fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because the fear of the Lord is going to change your conduct. The fear of the Lord is going to put you in a mindset of applying what you've learned. Because when Jacob's trouble happens, all right, and you know what I mean when I say that, when the lights really cut off in this place. You and your ability to recall the BC, or this in order to teach isn't going to be as important as your ability to apply and understand where we are in prophecy and how you need to move. Because the ministry is set up to build that up in you. How do you conduct yourself? How do you maneuver in this world? By applying wisdom. And the wisdom was given in abundance for that purpose. Now every brother has their measure. Every brother has their talent. Every brother has, and different brothers have different measures. You have brothers that are excellent at teaching, excellent at prophecy, excellent in history. Brothers that are very motivational, inspirational, counselors, brothers that are good at counsel. All of these are different measures, and they're all important to the edifying of the body. But it's all meant to build up your ability to apply this when the time comes. I mean, we're applying it now, but when the lights cut off in this place, you're going to be left with your understanding. And at that point, how much knowledge you've gathered isn't going to be as important as how well you apply what you've learned. And that's why Proverbs, the 4th chapter, is something I visit often, because again, with all of our getting, we're supposed to get an understanding. of what we're a part of how we conduct ourselves, of the bigger picture. You know, the scriptures say, without a vision, the people perish. Keeping the main thing, and being a brother. Because again, there's a way that seemeth right to a man, you know, but the ends thereof are death. Because you have the knowledge and the understanding, and it's being given in abundance, but it's meant for that purpose. That's the focal point, to build up the faith in the elect. The Lord is gathering the elect, and the ministry is set up through the Spirit to build up the elect for the times that we're coming into. That's why edify means to build. That's the source of, that's the foundation of what the Lord set up with the ministry. It's a resource, and it's set up in the Spirit to build up the elect, to build up your faith. All right, this is Proverbs 16:22. Understanding is a wellspring of life unto him that hath it, but the instruction of fools is folly. And understanding is going to become more and more important as we get closer and closer to the end. Because again, applied knowledge is power. You have many people that even in the world where you pass by them at bars, and they're able to go into, you know, in 1947 and 1948, you know, such and such happened and all of these different things. But, you know, it doesn't really reflect in them applying knowledge. They're just a person that keeps knowledge. They just have it. It's just in their mind, but it's not actually being applied. And we don't want to be that way in this truth. We want to have this truth through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, with the understanding that it needs to be applied continuously, consistently, daily. You know, when we first come in, we've all been at that stage where we think we're late, so we just want to stuff our brain with as much knowledge as we can. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not the main goal. The main goal is for you to learn what you're learning, to teach others through the Spirit according to your measure, but also to apply it. And it's going to become more and more important in these last days. And we've all seen these situations of, you know, and I use the ex-head of Atlanta as an example, Yaradon, even down here in my camp, you know, in Orlando, with the ex-head Karatazar. These were men that were able to exemplify very, very eloquently the words of the Lord, the scriptures. But it's not just for that. That's not the main purpose, is to apply it. And when we're getting our information through the Spirit, when we're gathering knowledge, when we're learning, when we're understanding, it's for the purpose of applying this. And it should change your behavior, your conduct, how you conduct yourself, how you move. Because again, when you're applying it through the Spirit, it's supposed to make a new man. All right. What you notice with a lot of these, some of these other camps, is that, you know, they're able to bring out precepts. They're able to recall precepts and give you, you know, 5 readers, and they're able to, but then there's a spirit of application that's necessary, that in some cases you don't see it. You don't see the application of what's being taught. And on a personal level, we do not want to be that way. We want to be able to understand what we're a part of and apply the knowledge that we're learning through the Spirit, so that we can be an asset to the body and not a liability. Being able to teach well is not the only asset to the body. You have brothers with different gifts and different measures, but the center focal point is being able to apply what we've learned. so that we will be an asset through the Spirit. All right. Matter of fact, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 8. I'm going to jump down to verse 51. All right. And it reads, "But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee." So you still have to understand for yourself. You know, and it reminds me of Apostle Gabar's statement that he says often, you know, about understanding what you're a part of. You know, and it really brings back the core understanding that this has to be applied in your walk, not just something that you know, but something that you have applied in your life, and progress is seen through your character being changed. You know, we all, you know, come in, we're full of zeal, you know, and then you begin to understand how to be circumspect, you know, how to be wise, how to use discretion. That's a product of applying what you've learned. And you have these situations where you have guys that have learned, they've gathered information, but they've lost or forgotten about the necessity of applying it. That's why the scriptures say, understand for thyself. And with all our getting, we're supposed to get understanding of what we're a part of. And it should change our behavior and our mannerisms through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Now, we're not perfect. You know, we all fall short. We all make mistakes through the Spirit. You know, and we're supposed to get up, learn from those mistakes, and continue pushing forward. But that should be a product of applying scriptures, applying knowledge in your daily walk. This is Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 17. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. And when you think about the edification that comes out, it's supposed to sharpen you. You're supposed to hear it, you know, and it's supposed to sharpen your understanding. It's supposed to sharpen your walk. But it doesn't do that if you just know it and you can just regurgitate it. It only works if you apply it. All right. And that's why through the Spirit, keeping the main thing is so important. Matter of fact, let's go here. This is Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 25. And it reads, "There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death." Because you'll have these camps, some camps that'll come out and they'll be eloquent. They'll have 6 readers. They'll be able to bounce from one precept to the next precept and different things of that nature. But then, you know, these testimonies come out that behind closed doors, they're being a nigga to all the brothers that are around them. And that's a lack of application. That's a lack of applying these scriptures in sincerity and in truth. And that has to be a part of the understanding that we have as we continue in this journey, that you're studying, you're learning to apply it. Not just because Esau teaches that in the school system, right? It's all about memory. You memorize this, you memorize that. For test day on Friday, you memorize this so that you know it on the test, and then you pass the test, and the information just leaves you because you only stored it to pass the test. You didn't store it to actually use it. That's how we learn in this system. We're not supposed to have that mindset through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai with this truth. As we gather, we're supposed to gather with the intention to apply. And as we learn, as we grow, you know, we adjust. You know, a righteous man falls 7 times and he gets back up again. But there's a continuous effort by that man, Lord willing, to apply the scriptures and to offend less. All right, so I just wanted to put this out there through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We're in very beautiful times, and the balance of it is that the Lord has given us this knowledge to prepare us for what is happening in the earth and what is about to continue to happen in the earth, and how we should conduct ourselves on a personal note. Every brother's personal relationship with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is being developed through the trials that we go through. Our ability to trust the Lord on a personal level is being increased by the things that we go through. And our wisdom is being increased by applying the knowledge that we've learned. When you think about experience is applied knowledge over a course of time. As you apply knowledge, you experience its value through application. The Lord is raising up the elect of the nation of Israel, a company of kings. But we're under tutors and governors, and only being under a tutor and governor means you have to apply what you're learning. It's not just like Esau's school system where they just give you a test. If you pass the test, you never have to revisit the knowledge again. Or you or the class, y'all in class, and the teacher raises his hand. The teacher asks a question and you raise your hand. You the first one to raise your hand and answer all the questions. But then when it comes to actually applying what you've learned, you're not applying it. And that's not the walk that we should have in this truth. We're not perfect, concerning the letter of the law. We're going to fall short. We're going to make mistakes through the spirit. But that's why the wisdom is left. So when we do make a mistake, we have the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai left unto us to apply it, to adjust and learn. And from that, you grow, you abound. All right, so Lord willing, this was edifying with that. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rukakudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Shalom.